Okay, guys, welcome back, and this is the very paid league presented by our IPL Sports, and supported by our Isa Bin Lin. Okay, let me pronounce his name correctly. If I'm wrong, please correct me. In this short in time, Isa bin Alam. He was the one to support this overall event, and he's the organizer for sure to be. And it is the International Pro League, which has a prize pool of overall $160, and this is the very day one, and we have overly 2 days, 2 consecutive days for the very event. And let me talk about the very prize pool. First prize will be $55, second one will be 30, and third 24, fourth 19, 15, and 6 12. As to talk about this certain game, and I'm seeing there overly 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 and 20 teams over here to compete for the very event or paid league by the time. And this is the very wrinkle map. Okay, that was a very fine zone for the teams. Only 20, oh, not just 20, yeah, something like 10% of the team are affected by the very zone, which will be our team so-called Yes. Then after that, this was another team so-called WIOF, and both of the teams has 4 men, but one of the teams has only 3 men over there, and that team was certainly, which was that team? That team was our GTX. They were the very teams to have 3 men. They have one number disadvantage. One player couldn't able to join out this game, but I'm sure that he will join us from another game. Okay, that will be the very thing to just look after it. And by the time, okay, one of the player got taken down by the sickle. One of the players sickle hiking just got knocked out, and they're trying to finish that one player, and that was the very knock-in finish. First player has already been down. First casualty for this very team. 3 players are over here. Players are getting knocked over here as well for the team BKE. Master already got taken down, but for the enemy teams, okay, the revival process has already been started. I hope they will able to save that one player for the team BKE. Other 3 players has gone or successfully reached out the place where they wanna go. That was the place which is so called prison. And but the team so called BXC, they are getting backwards and looting up some kind of small area. They are trying to get in the very podcast zone. For the team BTK, not BTK but BT Alpha, this spirit team, 3 of the player already got knocked in, finished, and there is the ability of the very last man, and he has the balanced loot, but Haber has to get out from the area as soon as possible. That will be the very thing to just look after it and take it after. And for the team so called TTQ, overly they have managed out 3 frag, but Master Whip already got knocked in, finished for the spirit team. The very first casualty will be that certain player. Yeah. Let's go to the another team. Oh my god, MJD just knocked out a player with that very pistol, but yeah, AS Sundar just finished out that certain player with that very knife for sure to be. And they don't have the fine loot by the time, and this player so called Sundar has one pistol to be very honest, and he's also facing some level of damages against him, but he managed to save himself for this period of time. And here is the player so called Jurham seat for the spirit team, only 2 men standing. Oh my god, that was a fine shot and nice knock to be very honest by the team TTQ. They have managed out 4 frag for the team, and the very first squad will be our team, none other than Yaskai's BXC got exited with that very 2 frag point by the time. Yeah, let's talk about another team so called BKE, where 3 player has already been knocked in, finished for this very team, and they are just holding up in this very situative condition. And that will be the very condition to just need to talk about in this very present situative manner or matter to just be. And by the time we have been converted into 62 players and 19 teams by the time. And okay, just man, they Haber has to get moved in by the time. Players are getting taken down in this very present scenario, and last nominee are over here. The Haber has to manage this game on their own side, and I'm definitely hoping for their best. The Haber has to go with that very certain thing, and this goes the very search but couldn't able to get connected that much in this very present situative era. 22 minutes and 50 seconds left in this very present situation to get into the another zone, which will be our none other than stage 2. This goes the search, but Nori get much of the damages, so he need to manage out by being safe by the time. Have managed out full frag with it, and they are applying certain bandages. They are getting straight out by the time, and they definitely try to manage this game in their own sides. This could able to damage most of the damages against them. And okay, for the teams, for the team EXS, Nori will be the very single player to be over here. Oh my god, that was knocked by our Vortex, and that will be the very finish. So for this very team, last place standing which will be our We May. Since 3 of the player already got exited by the time, it was not that great in this very present situative era to just talk about it. And yeah man, let's go with that very short and flow. And we have more 19 teams in the lobby, so we don't need to get worried that much in this very present scenario, and they are getting up in this very present situation. And by the time they are also performing the very heating up act, and by the time how will they go for it, that will also be the very thing to just talk about it. And let's go to another team, Sukal BK. There is the ability of the very last player, which was our Sipal FL, since Johnny Pale has managed out the very first pack for their team, so they have already secured 1 point, 1 sure point for them to be, which was a really great thing to just talk about it. Nice. And Haber has to get moving by the time, and he's the last player for his team. And there is the team Sukal BE with that very 4 minutes standing. They have already managed out 4 frag for their team, and they don't know exactly about our sleeper, but that was a surprise. Oh my god, that was a pretty revenge by the team. Haber has to manage out more 1v3 against the very team. Getting ready with that very nade. Haber has to go for it. Oh, that was a wrong move. Oh my god. He is saved by the very dot as he is performing healing of Ag, and he did that show. He need to get ready. That was oh my god. That was not a strategy. Haber has to manage out this game, this fight easily by the time. But yeah, roughly he goes directly in front of those of the 3 players, which was really not great for the team EXT, as players are getting taken down over here. Last player will be our Annie by the time, and yeah, they has to get moving by the time. How will they manage out this game in this very present scenario? That will also be the thing to just talk about it. And 22 minutes and 44 seconds left in this very present scenario, since this is the very stage 2, so we need to move forward for the another stage of the zone. For the team TTQ, player are also getting taken down. For the team EXC, last player standing will be our Kaibat Izet, and he has managed out 1 frag for his team as well. And let's go to the another team. We have overall 46 players and 17 teams by the time. And let me talk about this certain team, Sukal C and D. Overall 4 minutes standing are over here, and they have to get moving with that very vehicle approach or buggy. They have the certain buggy, so they has to move with that. One of the player already got knocked out. That player was none other than our Thox. And as by now, this sword is coming from the team Sukal C and D, Sam Kaka. And by the time players are getting down in this very present scenario, which was not that much fine thing, and players are getting down in this very present situation. Okay, players are not just getting knocked, they are getting finished as well in this very present scenario, and they has to get moving by the time. Oh my god, another 1 player also got knocked out. Last player is over here, Sam Kaka was that last player to be. This was a very short. Oh my god, 1 and 1. Nice one. That was a nice knock. That will be the very finish in my opinion, but he could not able to do that. So, but he's trying. The player is at on that very dot as we. Oh, that will be the very finish. He need to manage out the very coverall phase as well. But in this very present scenario, I think the very best thing he can do is to get out from this area. That will be the very best strategy from for him, but it was really late. And then after that, he also got finished by the time by the teams who called GE. They have managed out overall 7 frag, but lose out 2 of the player. 2 women standing at over here, whereas our Marnet boy have managed out 3 frag. Okay, for the team Bhena, they are getting close by. For the team 10, अथवा yeah, as to talk about, this is the very team number 10, where our player Sukal Chipichapa already got knocked out. Bina Maris has managed out 1 frag for their team, which was really a great thing to just talk about it. For the team GEL, Ewis James will be the very player, but one of the player has gone offline in this very present scenario, which was really not a good time to go offline by the time. He need to be online on time in this very present scenario. They are trying to get engaged in the very fights, but haven't gone for it in this very present situative era. And this goes the very shots, but couldn't able to manage out that sort of knock. But they are trying their level best to manage this out in their own side. And they have already managed out 8 frag to score the shots. Oh, but couldn't able to manage out that one knock in this very present situation. For the team BE, Yankee 3 have managed out overally 2 frag for the team, which is a really a good fact to just talk about it. This shows the very shots, but couldn't able to get managed as like I was expecting. But that was a nice knock, to be very honest. Nice one. For this very team, there is the ability of the very only 2 women standing in this very present situative era. And this goes the shots, but couldn't able to manage out that one knock. For the team Bhena Maris, one of the player already got knocked out. For the team PE, Yan K3 already got knocked out, but Haber has managed out overly 3 frag for the team. Oh my god, Moss also got knocked out. Sau also got finished in this very present scenario. Overly squad just got exited by the time. For the team GEL, not GEL, but GE, only 2 women standing, but they have managed out overly 10 frag. For the team so-called BLD, last place standing is over here. They have to manage out 1-1. This goes the very net that could able to manage out some kind of damages. Oh my god, that goes shots. Oh, nice one. That was a lucky shot, to be very honest. He need to manage out that recoverable phase by the time and finish that one player to convert it as on a frag point, to be very honest. Yeah, bye. Now last player is over here, which was our none other than Madden boy. He is risking his life to save out his teammate. I think that so. He's going straight out with that very damaged vehicle, but he was the only fragger left for his team, and he was the top fragger for his team indeed, since he has overly 5 frag by the time. And enemy team is getting ready with that very shot in need, and Haber has to go for it and getting ready. Manet boy is over here. Zuki is also over at on that very shot top side. Both of the teams, Haber has to manage out that 1-1. Which teams will be that lucky enough team to grab out this fight in there? Oh wow, that was a nice one, Zuki. Nice one. They have managed out overly 6 frag, whereas 4 frag has been contributed by our player so-called Zuki, and he did a very fabulous job by doing that 1v2 in this very present situative era. Really a very good and nice thing to just see. We have overly 24 players in this very present scenario, and the Haber has to get moved in, but haven't gone for it so far. But I'm hoping for their level base in this very present situative era to just talk about it. And by the time 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this very present scenario, and this was a very start, and we have to move forward for the okay. And by the time only 49 seconds left in this very present scenario, and for the team WIO, we have And by the time only 24 seconds left in this very present scenario. And and by the time the Haber has to go for it, only 1 minute and 3 seconds left in this very present scenario. One of the players who got him NFS just got knocked out. There is the very ability of the very more three players which were in that very certain standing position, but the Haber has to manage out the very recovery phase on time. And by the time and Haber has to go with that very certain need, and there is a very only Roman standing in this very present scenario. One of the players who called him NFS already got knocked and finished, and by the time we have only 10 seconds left in this very present scenario, Frankie just got knocked and finished in this very present scenario. We have overall 15 players by the time with that very team 10 teams, and by the time they are getting ready in this very present scenario, and by the time only 1 minute and 30 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just buy and talk about it. And in this very present scenario, only 1 minute and 26 seconds left in this very present scenario, and we have overall 14 players and 10 teams in this very present scenario. Only 1 minute and 5 seconds left in this very situation. They have managed out the very hitting of act by the time for the team Bhena. Only 2 minutes standing are over here. They have managed out overall 15 frag in this very present situation, and they are getting ready in this very present scenario. And yeah, only 40 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just talk about it for the team BK. Only 2 minutes standing are over here. Two players already got knocked and finished by the time, which was not that great in this very present situative manner, and the Haber has to go with that very certain shots but haven't gone for it so far. And I'm hoping for their level best by the time after the exit of the very certain two teams, they will able to manage out 1 point as a placement, since as 8 teams which come under the very hashtag it will able to manage out 1 point as a placement as well. For the team BTR, Rixovai is over here. 3 of the player already got exited by the time, so it was fine but not that great in this very present situative manner to just talk about it. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just talk about it. And there are overly 13 players and 10 teams by the time. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And they are trying to go with their very shots but haven't gone for it so far. And only 38 seconds left in this very present scenario. The Haber has to go with that very certain fight, and they have the very vehicle ability, so they need to go with that very certain vehicle approach in this very present scenario. And by the times only 19 seconds left in this very present scenario, and they are getting upside down in this very time. Only 14 seconds left in this very present scenario. This goes the very back staff against our BTR Rixubhai, and that last player also got exited at on hashtag 10 by the time. We have overall 9 teams available in this very present scenario. For the team MZT, only 2 minutes standing. One of the player already got knocked and finished, and one player was absent in this very certain game. And by the time they have domain standing, so they have to perform that domination in this very present scenario, and they have gone for the very looting of job. And as I am seeing, only one teams is at on the very zone. Rather than them, other 8 teams are outside the very zone, so they need to get inside the zone as soon as possible. For the team BKE, last place standing was our NS HES, and he will be the very certain last one to be over here, and they have to get move in by the time. And by the time they are getting ready, only 1 minute and 6 seconds left in this very pleasant situative manner to just talk about it. And as by now to be, they need to move in by the time. And only 52 seconds left in this very present scenario. The tire has already been burst out, but he is taking that vehicle on their side. And by the time for the team EXDS players are getting down in this very present scenario, the Haber has to go for it. And only 10 players and 7 teams are available by the time. The Haber has to manage this game in their own side. That will be the very thing to just talk about it. And by the time 10 seconds left in this very present scenario, and they are getting upside down in this very present scenario. They are just looting out from this very drop we had at on that very #6. So each and every teams to get inside this certain placement will be able to grab out 2 points as a placement by the time. And only one teams is outside the very zone, and that was our BK, but he's also getting inside the zone as soon as possible, and he did that. So we have overall 9 players by the time, and the fight need to be get started by the time, but it has been started. For the team Bena, I guess they were the very teams to grab out most number of the kills by the time. This was 15 in number, which is a really great thing to just talk about it. 2 of the player already got knocked in finish, whereas our Bena Frankie has managed out overall 7 frag for their team. So practically he will be the very top fragger by the time in this very present scenario. And if he was alive by the time, he could have done more, I guess, but sadly he is no more with us in this very first game. But I guess we will definitely see him in another game. And for the team, Energy just scored the fine level of damages. Energy is also performing that healing up top and did that so in a very well manner. And okay, that player also got knocked out in this very present scenario. Last player will be our fast Ajax. And by the time we have overall 6 players and 4 teams in this very present situative era to just talk about it. And there are overall 6 players and 4 teams by the time, which will be the very first team to grab out the very first second in this very present scenario. That will be the very thing to just look after it, and let's go and let's see about that. How will it go in this very present scenario to just talk about it. And Haber has to go for it, and they have a very fine zone in this very present scenario. So do our team so-called NFS. They have overly Roman standing in this very present scenario. They are going against the very team. This good shot. Oh, nice one, and that will be the very finish. Since he's also getting that backstab in this very present scenario, the Haber has to get moved with that very vehicle by the time. Oh my god, one of the player for the team Vienna already got knocked out. So last player is over here, and he's trying to get manage out that recoverable phase on time, which was a really great thing to just talk about it. And the recoverable phase has already been started, and he did that. So and they have already managed out 15 frag, as I already talked about that certain fact, which is a really great thing to just talk about it by the time. And they are also facing some level of damages in this very present situative era to just talk about it. And this goes the very shots, and by the time 1:40 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team STL, 3 player already got knocked and finished. So last place standing will be our Reiki, and they have already managed out 8 frag in this very present scenario, and the Haber has to go with that very short and flow. And And by the time they are over here, since three of the player already got knocked in finish, last player standing will be our Reki, none other than him. In this very present situative era, the Haber has to go with that very sudden flow. And okay, they have already managed out 8 frag for their team, which is a very great thing to just talk about it. For the team players are also getting taken down. Okay, there are last two teams in this very present scenario, which will be our Bena and STL. For the team STL, there is the ability of the very last player, but he has a really fine zone in this very present scenario. But for the team Bena, there is number advantage. Oh my god, zone isn't in any of the pocket, but last player also got taken down by the time, and this chicken dinner goes to the team. Yes, guys, none other than Team Bena secure out the very first chicken dinner for their team. So many congratulations to them, and I will meet you at the very next game, which will be our game 2 for sure to be. So get ready for that and get ready for the action of the very second game. Second game will be our Miramar. Bena Frankie was the very top fragger for this very team. I will meet you in the very next game. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Okay, guys, welcome back. We are back again. Yeah, man. Wait. I have to do a small job by the time. And that could be our low power mode. And okay, guys, we are back. We have overall 78 players by the time, whereas one player already got knocked out in this very area. That was the very team. So called PE players are getting knocked in this very prison scenario, which was not that great thing to just talk about it. And that will be the very only thing to just talk about. And I'm hoping for their level best. And how will they manage out in this very prison scenario? That will also be the very thing to just talk about it. And the Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now. Players are getting taken down in this very prison scenario. The very first player is knocked in this very prison very manner, and that will be the very thing. And another one player also got knocked out. I think that will be the very pretty finish for this very team. For the team STL, players are also in this very prison scenario. For the team EXTS, IQ is over here, and he will be the very first player to manage out first kill. And another one has kill has been player Annie, and the three of the player already have managed out 1-1 frag in their own side. But last player Domingo is at and the very top, so that he couldn't able to grab any of the hits for the time. But for the team NFS, one Domin standing are over here since one of the player already got knocked in finish, and one player also got knocked out in this very prison scenario. So last team standing is over here. And among those of the player, one of the players who going is at on that very dot SP, and they are getting engaged in the very fight. Last player standing has a gun which was car 98 by the time, which is so hard to handle. And then after that will be the very back stab, and player just got finished by the time, which was not that great in this very present scenario. And as by now they have already managed out overly for frag by the time. And 1 minute and 14 seconds left in this very present scenario. 1 dominant standing we're over here, and by the time players are getting knocked out, we have overall 17 teams since two of the teams already got exited. Then after that, okay, three of the teams already got exited. That will be our, yes guys, C and D. Then after that BE. Then after that, yeah guys, NFS. This will be the very three team to get exited by the time, and they're trying to get engaged in the very fight but haven't gone for it. For the team STL, players were over here. NFS, and that will be the very sicker fight. They have done it, and then after that the Haber has to go straight out in this very prison situative manner to just talk about it. And only 3 minutes and 16 seconds left in this very prison scenario. The Haber has to go upside down in this very prison scenario, but I haven't gone for it. I hope they will go for it by the time. And only 3 minutes and 3 seconds left in this very prison scenario. There are overly 4 players over here by the time, and the Haber has to go for it but haven't gone by now. Only 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in this very prison scenario. For the team BKE, player are also getting down, so last player is over here in this very prison scenario. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And by the time, only 2 minutes and 36 seconds left in this very prison scenario. And only 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. This could be very short against that certain player, but haven't managed out that one knock in this very present scenario, which was a very fine fact to just talk about it. This was a very short, but were unable to manage that one knock in this very present scenario. And the Haber has to get up in this very present scenario, which was a very fine thing to just talk about it. And only 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this very present scenario. For the team WIOF, players are getting taken down, and for the team STL, overall 4 players are over here. They have already managed out 5 frag for the team, whereas 1 frag has been picked out by a player so called Kyuzma, and another 2 by our Jit, another 2 by our Reiki. This will be the very thing to just talk about it. And only 55 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the Haber has to go for it. Only 1 minute and 16 seconds left. This was the result, but could not able to manage out that fine damage in this very present situative era. Only 1 minute and 6 seconds left. And this was the very stage 1, and we have to move forward for the another stage of the zone. This will be our stage 2 for the time, and we are getting ready for that certain thing to just talk about it. And only 52 seconds left in this very present scenario. The Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now, and that will be the very only thing to just talk about it. And yeah guys, they are getting moved. Only 40 seconds left in this very present scenario, so the Haber has to go for it by the time, but haven't gone by now. And by the time we have overly 55 players and 16 teams in the lobby, and they are getting straight out in this very present scenario, which is a really good thing to just talk about it. And by the time they are getting straightforward in this very present scenario, so it is a very fine fact to just talk about it. And by the time only 2 minutes and 54 seconds left for the another stage of the zone, some wise more than 50% of the lobby are outside the very zone, so they need to get inside the zone as soon as possible, as soon as they could ever be. And they are getting moved in this very present scenario. Only 2 minutes and 33 seconds left in this very present situative era to just talk about it. Then after that, let us talk about another team so called BE, and I guess they were the very champion teams for the very game 1, if I wasn't wrong. For this very team, 3 players are available by the time, since one of the player already got knocked in finish. And by the time they are getting moved in this very present situative era for the team Bena, players are getting knocked and finished as well. The Haber has to get moved in with that very vehicle app, so they have the ability of the very vehicle, so they are getting straight out in this very present scenario. And okay, they have to go for it, and they are getting moved out in this very present scenario. And this was the very short. And and we have overly 49 players and 15 teams in this very present scenario, so the Haber has to go for it by the time, but haven't gone for it. Only 1 minute left in this very present scenario. This was the very stage 2, so we have to move forward for the another stage of the zone by the time, so they are getting straightforward, they are getting upside down in this very present scenario as well. And by the time, and 1 40 seconds left in this very present situative era to just talk about it. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And then after that, for the team GE, players are also getting down, and there is the ability of the very 3 player, where 1 player was our lean boy. He has managed out 1 frag for their team, which was a really fine thing to just talk about it. That was a very great fact, to be very honest. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. By the time players are getting shots for the team EXE, first player will definitely get knocked in finish, so it is hard to manage out that one revival by the time. So that okay, for the team BXC, this is the ability of the very 3 player, since one of the player already got finished by the time. And by the time we have overly 46 players and 15 teams in this very present scenario. And they have had to use the very shots, fine shots in this very present scenario. And by the time Only 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team EXE. Players are getting down in this very present scenario, and this will be the very finish. Last player is getting away since three of the player already got knocked in finish by the time, which was not that great in this very present situation era to just talk about it. And by the time only 1 minute and 4 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just talk about it. And for the team Mitsune, players are also getting down in this very present situation. For the team VE, only 2 minutes standing since two of the players already got knocked and finished by the time, which was not that great. And they are getting ready. They have has to go with that very short net, and they are providing some kind of nets, but couldn't able to get connected by the time. And by now they have to move forward. Overall, they have managed out 8 frag where two of the players already got knocked and finished. One of the players, so called must two for this PD team, was the very top fragger by the time, since he has managed out 4 frag but get exited by the time. I think Tucson will get over that certain number of frag. And by the time overally 14 teams are over here, and they are getting moved in this very present situative Rani. And only 2 minutes left in this very present scenario, and Zone has been converted into a very small and collapse thing to just talk about it. And yes, our Kai Bath is trying to go with that very shots but haven't gone for it. And the Haber has to get moving in this very present scenario. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And by the time only 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this very present situative manner for the team WIOF. Already 3 players standing, one of the player already knocked and finished by the time, which was not that great in this very present situative manner to just talk about it. And they are getting straightforward by the time. And only 1 minute left in this very present scenario. And this was the very stage third, and we have to go forward for the another stage of the zone, which will be our none other than stage 4 for sure to be. And I'm just getting ready and being prepared for that one thing in this very present scenario. And they are getting straightforward. Only 37 seconds left in this very present situation. And Haber has to talk about our team. So called BLD 3 player are over here. One of the players, so called Roizuki, already got knocked in finish, and they are getting up in this very present scenario, and they are up in this very manner, and they are performing the very healing up action or boosting up action, which was really necessary for that player since he was kindly low SP than full. And for the team EXTS, Nori has managed out one knock against the very player. And yeah guys, Nori has secured out that one kill for them to be as well. That was the very TTQ Master Babe. And as like the first game, he will be the very first player to get knocked and finish in this very presence is very period. The Haber has to get engaged in that very presence is very. And by the time this was a very start, we have to go for the another stage of the zone. That will be the very finish. First kill for this very team has been managed out by our player Shukaljuki, since one of the player already got knocked in finish, so they have to manage out that 3-man domination by the time. And we are at on the very stage start. 140 seconds left for the very another stage of the zone. I think that will be our second last one by the time. We have overly 35 players, so I'm expecting a very bhari welcome fight, top level, or that certainly collapse fight along with that very players in this very present situative manner to just talk about it. And how will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it by the time. And by now they have to go straight forward in this very present situative era to just talk about it. And I'm hoping for this level of and they Havertz has to get upside down in this very present situative era to just talk about it. Then after that we have only 1 minute and 40 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team STL. Three of the player already got knocked and finished, and the very last player will be our none other than Kai Kuzma. Yeah, they have already managed a certain fact for the team, which was really a great thing to just talk about it. And this goes the very need. Oh, okay, against the very player. Last player also got knocked and finished in this very present situative era to just talk about it. And by the time yeah, only 1 minute and 17 seconds left in this very present scenario for the team BK, Frizzy ES, Nazi ES, and ES will be the very 3 minutes starting for the team. BXC Case already got knocked out, and two players are over here, and the Haber has to manage out that healing up action by the time, which is a very really necessary job to manage it out. This goes a very nice shot, and that will be the very finish. He has to manage out this overall fight by the time 1-on-1 left in this very present scenario against the very team, and he's getting backwards as he need to perform that healing up job by the time that he haven't done it so far. But the recovery phase for his teammates has already been started for this very team, which was a really great factor, and they has managed out that recovery phase on time. In this very present situation, we have to just talk about it. Then after that we have only 1 minute and 40 seconds left. And then after that, yes guys, Max Allo is getting ready. Okay, 2 minutes starting for both of the teams. Oh, that was nice knock, to be very honest. So last place starting will be Rixo Pasai, and last player also got finished by the time. So they have faced out the very exited, which was really not a great fact to just talk about it. And the Haber has to get moved in by the time, but I haven't gone for it. And as by now the Haber has to get ready for the time. 1 seconds left in this very era to just talk about it, and which is a really fine job in my opinion to just talk about it. And 46 seconds left, and they are performing the very thing of action in this very present situative manner. And then after that the Haber has to move with that very certain vehicle. And by the time Alpha Nemo already got knocked out in this very present scenario, and by the time only 22 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just talk about it. And by the time players are getting ready for the very present scenario for the team TTQ, only 3 players are available by the time, where one also player Shukal Master Brave already got knocked and finished. So it hasn't been that much fine thing to just talk about it. And they have to get moved in by the time, and players are getting down in this very present scenario. At on the very downside, 3 players are available, where one of the player already got knocked and finished by the time, and they are facing some level of fine damages in this very present situative era, which was really not great thing to just talk about it. And they are getting straightforward. We have overally 10 teams left in this very present scenario, and this was the very second game for the very event, whereas this event has overally 8 games for today and for tomorrow. So we will batch out all of these games together, so I'm really excited for that. And for the team BRD, one of the players who called CP Chapa just got knocked out, but could able to recover him on time by his teammates, so he could able to join out in the very fight. 3 minutes starting for the team, whereas our player Sokal Zuki for this very team, Sokal Roy Zuki, already got knocked in place, but he has managed out the very first or one frag for his team, but he already got knocked in finish. And AXTS Nuri, and by the time only 17 teams or 17 players and 9 teams are over here. And by the time we have overly 17 players and 9 teams over here, this goes the very short, but we're not able to manage it out on time. That will be the very thing to just talk about it. And the Haber has to go for it. 1 second left in this very present scenario, and they have to go moved in. And by the time only 8 teams are over here with that very 16 players, and Haber has to go with that very certain shots, but I haven't gone for it. and 1 15 seconds left in this very present scenario. This was a very fine shot, but couldn't able to manage it out. Whereas three player already got knocked and finished. Last player standing will be our MAS Yalu, and he has managed out three frag by the time, and the Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now. Only 1 minute and 17 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the very healing of action has already been started and have done by the time. Whereas BLDCP Chupa is at on a very low aspect for the team WOIF. Players are getting down in this very present scenario. BKE Fraser ES. We have overall 6 teams and 12 players available by the time, and by the time they are getting ready in this very present scenario, and then after that they have to go for it in this very present this very era to just talk about it, and they are getting ready and Haber has to go for it, and last player also got exited by the time. It was really not that good. They have the very vehicle ability, so they need to get moved in by the time, which is a really fine thing to just talk about it. Really a very fine job, to be very honest. In this very present scenario, we have overly 8 players and 4 teams by the time, and the Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now. They have the very vehicle availability, so they will go with that very vehicle. Only 4 teams are available, and which teams will be that lucky enough team to grab out the very chicken enough for this very game? Will be the very team to just look after it. This was the very shot. That was a nice shot as well, but couldn't able to manage out that one knock, and only 15 seconds left in this very present situative era, and the Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now, and has to get ready for the very thing, and they have to be ready for this very present scenario. This was the very short, but couldn't able to manage it as well, but Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now, and for the team, they are going with that very short and short. This goes a very fine shot. Only 3 teams are over here, 6 players and 3 teams are over here, and the Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now, and they are just getting ready in situative manner, and they have the very vehicle ability, so the Haber has to go for it, and and by the time the Haber has to go, but haven't gone for it. This was a very short, but couldn't able to manage it as like it. Haber has to go for it, and this was the very short. We have overly 6 players and 3 teams by the time, so they need to go for it. This was a very short, but couldn't able to manage that one knock, but they are trying their level best, and that will be the very exit of the very last player, to be very honest, and yes, this game has been taken out by our team so-called TTQ. They have managed out this game with that very 14 frags, so really a big congratulations to them, and that was a fabulous game, to be very honest. And this was the very second game, so 1 or 2 games left for the very, which will be our one Sanak and one Irangle, and so we are getting ready for that one for the team TTQ. Juki will be the very top fragger for this very team, and I will be at the very top game. Till then, bye bye. and this will be the very yes guys a third game by the time, and players are getting knocked out in this very present scenario. And how will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And by the time 67 players are over here with that very 18 teams in this very presence is very manner, they haven't has to get engaged in the very fight but haven't gone for it. And by the time they have to go, they are getting upside down in this very present scenario. Only 2 minutes and 7 seconds left in this very present scenario, so we have to go for the very team so called BTR over relief women standing over here. Only 1 minute and 50 seconds left in this very presence is very manner to just talk about it. And shots, but our defense just got knocked out, so only 3 minutes standing for this very certain team. And they are getting ready in this very presence is very manner to just talk about it. And Biggie Chani has just got knocked and finished. 3 of the players are available here by the time. Only 63 players. And they haven't has to go for it for the team Alpha. There is the player for this PD team, not just all but 3 of the player. 1 of the player already got knocked in place, but that doesn't matter much. And this goes the very short players are getting finished by the time as well. Last player standing will be our UG. And by the time they are getting engaged, only 1 minute, no 1 minute but 11 seconds left in this very present scenario, so to go for the very end of the stage of the zone by the time. And we are just getting ready. And this goes to the finish. Only 56 players are over here with that very 15 teams in this very present scenario. Only 3 minutes and 21 seconds left in this very present situation. And then after that, only 3 minutes and 12 seconds left for the team EXC over a LeFo player over here. And Haber has to go with that very certain thing. They have to get moving by the time. How will they manage out this very game? That will also be the very thing to just talk about it. 22 minutes and 50 seconds left in this very present scenario. And by the time overly 3 players are standing here in this very present situated manner to just talk about it. And they are getting ready by the time. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And then after that, they has to go for it, but haven't gone by now. And players are getting taken down in this very present scenario for the team EXE. Overally 4 players are over here, and they haven't gone for the fight for the team JET, ET. STL JTT already got knocked out, but Ricky has managed out the very first frag for their team. So the recovery phase is being continued over here, but this was a shot. Nice connection, nice knock as well by our Chibi Chapa for this very team. One of the player already got knocked out, and one of the player already got finished, but he is on that very certain standing position to just be. And they are all also getting ready. And this goes the very need against that certain player. And the Haber has to get down, and they are being down by the time, which was really fine. And then after that, for the team STL, players are getting down as well. And only 1 minute and second left in this very presence very matter. And then after that Blue Smoothie already got knocked out. Then after that BTL C Divine already got knocked out with that very need as well. For this very team overall, they have managed out 5 frag by the time, and players are already exited by the time, which was really not great as well. In this very present scenario, how will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just look after it, and I'm hoping for their level base. How will they manage out this game? That will also be the very thing to just look after it and talk about it in this very present situative era. And the Haber has to go with that very certain straight out job, and by the time they are getting straight out, and they have to get engaged in the very fight. And they have to get straight out. For the team EXE, overly 4 players are over here, and this is a very third game or second last game as to talk about that certain thing. And this could be shots, and player already got knocked out in this very present scenario. And the very recoverable phase has already been started in this very present scenario. And by the time only 16 seconds left in this very present scenario, for the team TTQ 3 players are available, whereas Liquid, one of the players so called Liquid, already got finished out in this very present situative era. They have what has to be up. This will be the very knock. This will be the very finish. Nice finish, to be very honest. And they are getting ready in this very certain present era. Only 44 players and 13 teams are over here by the time. The Haber has to manage out this game in this own side, and that will be the very thing to just look after it. And then after that, and only 1 minute left in this very present scenario to go another stage of the zone for the team EXE, and they are being ready, and Haber has to go for it, but haven't gone by now. Only 40 seconds left in this very present, but haven't gone for it, and as by now to be only 33 seconds left in this very present situative manner to just talk about it in the very present scenario. We have overall 42 players and 13 teams by the time the very healing up action has already been started for this very certain team, and that has been done. The very healing up job has already been started for this very present situative era, and the Haber has to get engaged in the very fight. And then after that, our team Sukal WF and something like that just knocked out one of the player for the very enemy team, which was really not great fact for the enemy team, but a great fact for them. And for this very team, two of the player already got knocked and finished. So last room is standing over here, and I'm looking very forward for now to be. And and then after that, only 41 seconds left in this very present scenario. And for the team, three player are available over here, whereas our player G God Speed already got knocked and finished by the time. Only two well teams are over here. Then after that, for the team BLD, three player are available, whereas our Venamaris already got knocked and finished by the time, which was not that great in this very present scenario, and they are getting straight forward by the time. Only 17 seconds left in this very present scenario to just talk about it. And only 39 seconds and 39 players and two build teams are over here. Less than 5 seconds in this very present scenario to go for the very another stage of the zone, and we are getting ready for that one thing. And so let's see what happened next in this very present very manner. And players are getting down in this very present very manner to just talk about it, but they haven't gone for it by the time, but they haven't has to go for it. And then after that, they have to go by the time, but haven't gone for it. And then after that, for the team EXE, overall 4 players are over here. They have already managed out 3 games, and by the time they are getting straightforward. And only 44 seconds left in this very present scenario. This was a very stage start, and Haber has to go for the very another stage of the zone. And I'm looking forward for that as well. And only 20 seconds left in this very present scenario, so they Haber has to go for it. And for the team TTQ, players are also getting knocked in this very present scenario to just talk about it, which will be the very fine thing to just look after it. By the time, this is a really fine thing, our job to make it out. And very shots. The Haber has to get moving from here. And then after that, players are also getting taken down. We have overall 2 well teams and 34 players by the time. And by the time, we have overall 29 players and 2 well teams in this very present very manner, and they have to get up in this very present scenario. For the team EXT, as 2 of the player already got knocked and finished, so there is the ability of the very last player in this very present very manner. And we have overall 27 players and 10 teams by now, or only 25 players and 10 teams. And they has to manage this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it. And by the time they are getting ready in this very present situative manner, they have to get straightforward by the time, which will be the very thing to just look after it. And they are being ready in this very prison situative era. And only 24 players and 9 teams are over here, and the Haber has to get moving in this very prison situative era. Only 24 players and 9 teams were over here, and they have to get engaged in the fight but haven't gone for it so far, so they are getting inside in this very prison situative era. And 24 players are available with that very 8 teams, and we have 24 players and 9 teams in this very prison scenario. For the team BKE, 2 of the players already got knocked out, so that last phase standing is over here, so the very recovery phase need to be done on time, so the recovery phase has already been started. Haber has to go for it, but last player already got finished out in this very prison scenario, which was really not great in this very prison situative manner. Only 15 seconds left in this very prison scenario, and the Haber has to go for it but haven't gone by the time, and the very healing up action has already been started in this very prison scenario, and they are trying to make this game on their own side. We have overly 8 teams by the time, 8 teams and 21 players over here, and the Haber has to go for it but haven't gone by now. And then after that, only 43 seconds left in this very prison situative manner, which is a very fine thing to just talk about it. And by the time how will they make out this game on their own side, that will also be the very thing to just look after it. And I'm looking forward for their fine game. They are getting straight out in this very prison scenario. Players are getting down. We have only 7 teams left in this very prison scenario with that very 16 players. Haber has to go with that very shots but haven't gone by now, but they will definitely try to go for it. And by the time, only 15 players and 7 teams are available, and only 34 seconds left in this very prison situative manner to just talk about it. And then by the time, and then after that, this goes the various shots. And by now to be, they have to go for it. This goes the very Mori. Could it get connected over there? But no. Oh yeah, it got. And then after that, that we leave the very fine shots. And by the time, only 2 teams were over here, and Then after that they have to go for it, and this was the very need, and and by the time there are availability 27 players, they have to go for it, and this goes a very short. Last player is standing over here, and okay, last player also got finished out. So second inner has already been done out by the team Sukal B, and this will be the very second inner for them, and we have to go for it uh, for the very, yeah guys, last game. And yeah guys, top fragger was our player Sukal B Ali Chipi Chupa. I will meet you at the very last game. Till then, bye bye, take care. And guys, welcome back. This will be the very last game for the day one, and we have another one day or day last by tomorrow. So get ready for that one. But let us talk about this game. In the very first stage, we have overall 72 players and 19 teams. One team is absent in this very certain game, which was really not a good fact to just talk about it. And one of the player for the team BXC just managed out knocked and finished of a player by that certain knife, and that was the thing to just need to just talk about it. And as by now, I'm hoping for the level best for the teams and how will they manage out this game in their onside. That will also be the very thing to just look after it, and how will they go for it. That will also be the very thing. And by the time only 1 minute and 33 seconds left, my hammer has to move with that very vehicle approach. How will they go for it? That will be the very thing to just now. That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And they are getting stood out by the time players are getting taken down in this very present scenario as well. And the Haber has to go. And then after that, for the team BXC, Fekis got knocked out. They have to get moving. And since I already have had told you guys, this will be the very last game to just and by the time they have to get moved in this very present scenario, they have the very vehicle ability, so they have to go straight forward by now. And by the time they have to go straight out, they are trying to go in that very opposite direction to be. And how will they manage out this game in this very present scenario? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And this was the very short, nice one. Last player also got exited by the time. And by the time only 4 minutes and 4 seconds left in this very present situative manner. This goes the very short, and players are getting down in this very present situative manner to just talk about it. And then after that, last 2 minutes standing is over here. They haven't had to go for the very fight, but haven't gone for it. And they are just being ready. This goes the very shorts. Okay, Alpha Mafia has converted into some kind of low HP, but haven't managed out that certain knock. And they're getting ready with that very 65 players and 18 teams. We are being ready in this and that goes the very shorts in this very present scenario. And they are definitely trying their level best to make this game on their own side. They are getting straight forward in this very present situative era. As like it is for the team BKE, player are also getting down. And for the time they have already managed out 3 frag for the team, which was a really great thing to just talk about it. And they are getting moved by the time. And as I already mentioned, now this will be the very last game for the day. For the team BXC, players are also getting down in this very present scenario, so let me check them out. But not that team. This was the team where the players are getting knocked out. So let's go over here. By the time for this very team, overall 4 minutes standing. As need to be talking about the enemy team, they have overall 3 minutes standing since one player was absent in this very present scenario. But this team has managed out 4 frag already, which means they have already secured out 4 points in their points table. Here is our blue smoothie, and
trying to get engaged. Oh my god, that was a nice shot. This will be the very battle between 3v3, but has already been converted into 3v2. This was the very shots. One of the player has been taken down at on that backstage by the time which was. And this was the shots. One player already got knocked out, so last man standing is over here. And this was the very fine shot. But having managed it out will properly. And then after that, this was the very need. And this was the very nice knock, to be very honest. And for the team BTR, one dominant standing. And then after that, only 50 players and 16 teams are over here. And and why now to be they are getting ready in this very present scenario. And one of the player already got taken down over here. Last player standing is over here by the time. And only 2 minutes and 50 seconds left in this very present situative manner. And 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 by the time for the team EXC, players are getting taken down. And for the team EXTS, IQ already got knocked and finished. 3 players standing over here. One of the player already got knocked and finished, but that was the single player to grab out off rack for their team. So it is a very fine fact. So let me go with that very certain flow. They are getting straightforward by the time. And only 1 minute in, only 1 minute in 47 seconds left in this very present situated manner. And now by the time only 1 minute and 35 seconds left, we have overall 12 teams left in this very present scenario. And they are getting straightforward by the time. How will they manage out this game in this very present situative era? And and by the time only 1 minute left in this very present scenario. This is the very stage 2, so we have to get moved into the very another stage of the zone. Only 50 seconds left in this very present scenario. And for the team BLD, one of the player already got knocked in shots. That was a nice shots, and that will be a very nice knock as well. Only 3 players are standing by the time. How will they go for it? That will also be the very thing to just talk about it. Only 3 players standing in this very present scenario. They has to go for it. And by the time only 37 seconds and 12 teams were available here by the time. And by the time only 30 seconds left in this very present situated manner. and they are getting ready. We have overall 11 teams in this very present situated manner. Only 35 players in 11 teams over here. This was the very short, but couldn't able to manage it at on time. And 11 teams were over here, and only 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the very present situated manner. This was the very shorts. We have overall 34 players in 11 teams, and they are just getting ready for that present situated concept content. As to talk about that certain fact, they are getting ready. And for the team BX players, we're over here. For the team EMJT, one of the player already got knocked in finish. And how will they manage out this game in this pretty present situated concept? That will be the very thing to just and this goes the very short, and by now to be they are performing the very healing up action. And by the time and by now to be they have to get engaged in the very fight. Oh, nice knock, but last player has already got exited by the time. So it was not that fine, but they are getting straightforward by now to be how will they manage out this game in this pretty present scenario. That will also be the very thing to just talk about it. Only 1 minute and 48 seconds left in this very present scenario, and they are trying their level best to make this game on their own side. That will be the very thing to just look after it. And how will they go for it? That will be the very thing to just talk about it. And by the time only 1 minute and 15 seconds left in this very presence is very many matter. And by the time only 40 seconds left in this very present situated manner, as by now Jim Jorks has managed out, and one woman is standing over here. And by the time 24 players and 9 teams are over here. And by the time only 24 players and 9 teams are over here, only 55 seconds left in this very present scenario, and the Haver has to get in the fight. This goes the very short, And why now to be they are getting engaged. And we have over 24 players and 9 teams available in this very different scenario. And that goes the very nice shots. Only 18 seconds left in this very present scenario. And and by now to be they have to go straight forward. And they're getting upside down. Overally 22 players and 8 teams were over here. Only 1 minute and 32 seconds left in this very presence is very concept. And how will they manage out? That will be the very thing to just talk about it. Only 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this very present scenario. And only 1 minute and 18 seconds left in this very present is very manner. They have already managed out 8 frag. Last player. And this is Satma for the team. We have overally 8 teams left in this very present scenario. So each and every team which get inside hashtag it will able to manage out 1 point as a placement, which is a really great fact. 1 seconds left in this very present scenario, and we are looking forward for it. And by the time players start getting finished, last play standing is over here. And they are getting straight forward by the time for the team B. Monks already got knocked out. And they are getting straight forward in this very present manner. And by the time only 19 seconds left in this very situated manner, and this goes the very fine shots. And by the time only 8 seconds left in this very situated manner, and only 6 teams were here with that very 15 players. And only 1 minute and 34 seconds left in this very manner to just talk about it. And they are just getting ready. And there is the very clash between this of the very 6 teams by the time, so they has to go for it, but haven't gone by now. And how will they manage? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. Only 1 minute left in this very present situative manner, as I need to talk about that certain fact. And they are just getting ready by the time. How will they manage? That will also be the very thing to just look after it. And that was a nice class player is over there by the time, and that will be our squeezy and something like that in this very present manner to just look after it. And how will they go for it? That will also be the very thing. Players are getting exited. Only 14 players and 6 teams were over here by the time, and I'm hoping for their level best as now to be talked about. And they are just holding up in this very present scenario. overally 14 players and 6 teams over here. For the team B, Vortex NRC already got taken down. I guess they have already managed out to chicken dinner by the time. If they did that so in this very short game, then it will be the very 3 chicken dinner for them to be. But let's see what will happen. They are trying to get straight forward with that very vehicle approach, and they're just going and players were over here with that very 6 teams. Players are getting down. This goes the very need. Will it get connected? I'm expecting that, but I haven't getting get connected by the time. And overall they have managed out 6 frag by the time. And by the time we have overall 13 player in 6 teams. And by the time only 27 seconds left in this very systematic manner, this goes the very short with that very 11 players and 4 teams. We are over here by the time. I will go for it. That will be the very thing to just talk about it. And this goes the very short. That was the time shot. But we are able to manage it out. And overall 10 players and 4 teams were over here. And we have overall 4 teams, and which will be that Simon to grab out this game in this very scenario. That will be the very thing. This goes the very fine shot. They have already managed our back, but for the team 2 to 3, if they manage out this chicken dinner, then it will be the very second chicken dinner for them to be as well. Only 2 teams left. And they are getting stood out, but last player also got finished out by the time. So the team Sugal TDQ has managed out second chicken dinner. So thank you so much for watching till the very end, and it was really great to have you all. Thank you so much. And BLD Chipa Chupa will be the very top fragment. Thank you so much, guys. Bye bye. Tada. See you in the next day. Only 2 teams left. And they are